what is the building of this grand road if not a drama? This business is not for the weak of heart.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most historically accurate TV biopic series.
Now that we all are friends, I believe you do know the proper custom when presented to the Queen of England is to curtsy.
For this list, we'll be looking at shows about historical figures or events that got a lot of things right about their subjects. Which historical event would you like to see adapted for the small screen? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, The Tudors.
You think you know a story, but you only know how it ends. To get to the heart of the story, you have to go back to the beginning.
This late 2000s historical drama follows King Henry VIII's infamous reign and his 6 ill-fated marriages in the 1500s. The series does not hide away from delving into Henry's many scandals and transgressions.
Just when my belly is doing its business, I find you wenching with Mistress Seymour.
Sweetheart, Jane, you had best leave.
Why are you doing this?
Why did you have to do this?
His unfaithfulness, cruelty, and decisions to take the lives of his wives Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard are all covered. Starring Jonathan Rhys-Meyers as the titular royal, the series survived 4 seasons. Ironically, that's longer than many of the tyrannical monarch's marriages.
Henry! Henry, please! No! Your Majesty! No, please! Henry!
Although the series isn't a completely perfect depiction, it definitely captures the tone and tension of those involved in the tumultuous period.
Master Holbein, it is well done.
Number 9, Victoria. At only 18 years of age, Queen Victoria assumed the throne. She remained there for 64 years until her death in 1901.
I know that I'm young. And some would say my sex puts me at a disadvantage. But I know my duty. And I assure you, I'm ready.
Victoria series creator Daisy Goodman used the real-life events of the royal's life to create a dramatic show. Character traits like the Queen's disdain for pregnancy were translated from real life, and the accuracy in the costumes and scenery made watching the show feel like you were viewing a documentary.
I'm inspecting the troops tomorrow, and there'll be so many ladies of fashion there.
Perhaps a pendant braid around each ear. It's a style that suits a face like yours. It is very au courant at the moment.
And thanks to a great performance from Jenna Coleman, the series gives us a fleshed out and honest look at the young monarch's life. Victoria truly does feel like an up-close and personal experience that you just can't get from a textbook. Number 8, The White Queen. Set in the 1400s, The White Queen takes viewers behind the scenes of the War of the Roses.
Lancaster brought us only war. King Edward will bring us peace.
He is a pretender. He has taken the throne by force.
He is the king, and those who speak against him are guilty of treason.
The show takes inspiration from a series of novels by the author Philip Gregory to bring us something like Game of Thrones, minus the dragons, and with a little less gratuitous violence. Its story follows historical figures Elizabeth Woodville, Margaret Beaufort, and Anne Neville as they battle over whose head will carry the crown.
Grace, the Prince of Wales.
Guide. In battle. Your commanders have been captured. I am to take you to London.
This series received praise for capturing the true personalities and essence of its leading characters. The series makes sure to flesh out the full timeline of the war, and while it takes occasional historical liberties, the show consistently gives its leading ladies the right to tell this true tale.
I'm the Queen of England.
You're a murderer. You murdered my firstborn son. You killed my boy with a storm, and I will not let you take my next.
I killed no one. And I will not let you destroy the court and all we've worked for.
Number 7, Hell on Wheels. Although it's a blend of fact and fiction, Hell on Wheels does a great job of capturing this bygone era. The series takes place post-Civil War, following the construction of America's transcontinental railroad.
Why should I hire you?
I'm willing to do just about anything.
You and 1,000 others.
I ain't got no place else to go, sir.
Its lead character is a one-time Confederate soldier named Cullen Bohannon that has a thirst for revenge. While the character is not directly based on anyone real, he's written as a combination of a few actual figures of that time. This writing technique makes him feel authentic.
You released your slaves that you still fought in the war. Why? Honor. The Southerner and his honor.
The cinematography also captures the gritty and bleak nature of the time period thanks to the heavy research the creative team did. Whenever you tune into Hell on Wheels, you'll feel like you're following a historical figure into another time period.
Without me, and men like me, your glorious railroad would never be built.
Number 6, Mr. Selfridge. Department stores may have looked very different without Harry Selfridge Sr. The unique methods he used to make shopping more inviting for customers are now universal.
I want product range and I want product quality. I want merchandise that people will desire. I want merchandise that people don't even know they will desire until they see it right in front of their eyes.
When Selfridge's story was brought to television, the producers made sure to capture every detail. The outrageous actions of Princess Marie Wazemski de Bolotov are based on real events. The costume pieces, sets, and timeline also strove to be as correct to the actual story as possible. Admittedly, a few new faces were added to the show to make it more well-rounded.
There are 5 applicants for every position, so we can afford to pick the very best.
However, that doesn't take away from how closely this series reflected Selfridge's life.
Improvise. I know that I can rely on you and your excellent assistants, can't we, ladies?
Yes, Mr. Selfridge.
That is the spirit. I'm proud of you all.
Number 5, Peaky Blinders. The fan-favourite Peaky Blinders series is one of the most popular historical dramas in recent memory. Set against the backdrop of post-World War I England, the series follows the Shelby family.
You've nothing more to say to this meeting, Thomas?
No. Nothing that's women's business.
This whole bloody enterprise was women's business while you boys were away at war. What's changed?
We came back.
Although the actual Shelbys are fictionalised, the group they are based on are real. The Peaky Blinders were composed of young people of lower and middle-class backgrounds born into economic inequality. This group used violence, robbery, and other forms of crime to rule the streets.
You were saying something about being outgunned.
The show makes it clear how brutal their reign of terror was, and it makes sure to get the small details like the types of hats the members wore down perfectly. This chilling examination of the time period is not for the faint of heart.
Well said, Alfie. Well said.
Number 4, Band of Brothers. One of the strongest portrayals of World War II on television came with HBO's Band of Brothers. Inspired by a book by Stephen E. Ambrose, the story follows the ongoing trails of a parachute infantry named Easy Company. To respect the stories they were telling, the show reached out for consultation and even required their cast to attempt boot camp.
I wouldn't take this rusty piece of shit to war, and I will not take you to war in your condition. Now, thanks to these men and their infractions, every man in the company who had a weekend pass has lost it.
Star-studded cast members like David Schwimmer and Colin Hanks also conducted research of their own. They even went the extra mile by reaching out to the veterans they were portraying.
I did things, I didn't do them for medals, I didn't do them for accolades, I did them because it's what had to be done.
Thanks to research and great cinematography, audiences got a war story that felt like it got everything right.
If they come by here, y'all remember to smile for the camera. Got to keep the morale up for them folks back home.
Why?
Damned if I know.
Number 3, Hatfields and McCoys. A well-known American feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys was memorialized in 2012 with its own miniseries.
Yeah, well, I had it under control. Hell, you did. These picayune squabbles got a way of turning deadly.
The three-parter transports audiences to the Kentucky/West Virginia border in the late 1800s. Thanks to great sets, costumes, and award-winning makeup, the show completely engrosses viewers into this heated battle. The series takes a deep dive into the violence and conflicts that lead to the feud going all the way to the Supreme Court. While this disagreement starts over a pig, it spiraled into a decade-long war that cost people their lives. This unflinching and critically praised series definitely satisfied historians and critics alike.
I've devoted my life to arms, and we have undergone a fearful loss of noble lives and valuable property in this hateful struggle.
Number 2, The Crown. Netflix's most expensive series to date spares no expense at making everything from the set to the costumes look authentic.
Memorizing lines and remembering angles, wearing makeup.
You're the Queen of the United Kingdom, for one thing.
Yes, who's memorizing lines and remembering angles and wearing makeup.
For instance, the original designer of Princess Diana's wedding dress allowed production to use the original patterns to create a near-perfect replica of the famed gown. The series chronicled the life, times, and struggles Queen Elizabeth II faced. Throughout the run, it never shies away from digging into the harsh and ugly sides of living under the watchful eye of the public.
The history of the monarchy in this country is a one-way street of humiliation, sacrifices and concessions in order to survive.
Although the show added a few extra scenes into its narrative, it often succeeds at replicating the true events it's based on. It seems like accuracy is just more likely when a single episode costs around an estimated $13 million to make.
Our very own goddess, glorious Gloriana. Forgetting Elizabeth Windsor now. Now only Elizabeth Regina.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The Borgias. A high-budget and great casting brought Pope Alexander VI's story to life.
You must help me interpret the great silence of God.
Wait, let me.
Little Gloria, Happy at Last. It closely followed the true story of the custody battle Gloria Vanderbilt was caught up in.
Walk out in a huff if you like, but it seems to me that you do not understand what is going on here. What is going on here is a little infant baby with a fortune of money and a mother who doesn't have a red cent.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. John Adams. Long before Alexander Hamilton became pop culture's favourite founding father, HBO's miniseries John Adams was earning some clout of its own.
The power of one must check and balance the other. And to that end, we must dedicate all of our energies and our care.
The show starred Paul Giamatti as the second ever President of the United States. This historical series drew praise from historians for its near-perfect depiction of the time period.
On that, Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Jefferson do agree.
Indispensable, sir.
The story captures the brutal realities of living through the 1800s. Instead of trying to romanticize the era, the production went as far as to highlight fine details, such as certain characters' lack of dental hygiene. The series swept up both Emmys and Golden Globes during its run. This biopic series can proudly say it's one of the most well-received and accurate historical portraits of a single time.
I am filled with an irresistible impulse to fall on my knees in adoration.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.